with the minimalist. That was crap, wasn't it? My Sunday uploads about living simply are intended to have a wide appeal to anyone interested in concentrating on the good stuff and getting rid of all the clutter and stress in their lives. However, I am a single British male caravanner, and as such there will be crossovers with coping strategies and thriving on your own, and there will be crossover with caravanning as well. So if you are an American married couple in an apartment, please don't go, please stay. Hopefully we will be able to share things together. But of course, because this is what I'm doing, there will be crossovers with caravanning and strategies for thriving on your own. So today's video is really aimed at single people who are considering a caravan as a means to achieving a simple life, but also it should help out people who are on their own and also considering a caravan just for holidays. I have always maintained that caravanning on your own sometimes is not as much fun as caravanning with a partner or a good friend. However, it is a gazillion times better than not doing it at all. And it's also far, far better than going away or staying with someone that you actually don't want to be with. So don't discount solo caravanning at all. There is no doubt in my mind that for a single person, a camper van is far easier as regards to not having to tow, and is easier to set up on site. However, because I'm talking about full-time touring, if you're in a camper van, you are sacrificing living space in exchange for a manoeuvrable vehicle. Or if you want a large amount of living space, then you need to have a large vehicle lumbering down the roads just when you need to go to the supermarket once a week. So you have this compromise, whereas with a caravan for full-time touring, because generally you're on a pitch for between 2 and 4 weeks, you can site the caravan, and then of course you've got the vehicle for the freedom to go and do other things. Cost is another consideration. If you have a large motorhome, you're towing a vehicle, you are running 2 vehicles. If you already have a car that's large enough and powerful enough to tow a caravan, you only need to purchase a caravan. You don't need to purchase something else with an engine. You don't need to run something else with an engine. And a caravan is much cheaper to run and maintain than a second vehicle. Either way, whether you go for a caravan or a motorhome or a canal boat, whatever, it's personal choice. But I just wanted to tell you, don't discount a trailer caravan if you're on your own, because I will give you 5 of my top tips to make solo caravanning as easy as possible. So number 1 is time. It takes over twice as long to do everything when you're on your own than if you're with somebody else. We've all seen it on site. A couple turn up, one of them takes care of the outside of the caravan, fills up the water, levels it off, that kind of thing. The second one inside the caravan sets it all up, and bosh bish bosh, you're done in 15 minutes. When you're on your own, you have to set up the outside and then you have to set up the inside, and bish bosh, that's taken 40 minutes. That's the way it is. You just have to get used to it. It takes a lot longer. So you just plan for that. You allow for that. But what you have to be careful of is that if you are with other people on site and they are in a couple, they may not understand that. So they might start setting time frames for going out or whatever that you can't quite match, because they just don't understand. It takes you so much longer to do everything. Nothing to stress about. But if you suddenly feel, well, I can't do all my chores and have a shower and be ready by 7 o'clock, just say, hey, sorry, I won't be ready till 7:30. It's as simple as that. And there are people, trust me, it's happened to me, where I've tried to explain, it takes me a lot longer, and they actually turned around and said, well, you're only cooking for one, you're only washing up for one, surely that takes half the time. Seriously, that happened. Just plan for it, allow for it, don't get stressed. Number 2, plan your route and transcribe the directions to your site. If you're towing a caravan or you're driving a larger motorhome, you cannot rely on your sat nav because it may take you down a lane where you'll get stuck. So you'll find that site directories will give you a recommended route which may not be the one in your sat nav. In this case, you can't look at that while you're driving. You need to transcribe it into large, easily recognizable symbols that you can glance at while you're driving and not take your eyes off the road. You do not have the luxury of a co-pilot. It doesn't matter. You just have to take your time, plan your route, transcribe it into easily readable and recognizable symbols that you can follow very easily without taking your eyes off the road for any longer than necessary. But of course, that takes time that couples don't need to take before you leave. It's just the way it is, and if you transcribe your directions, your life will be so much easier in the long run. Number 3 is a reversing camera. Will make your life so much easier in your car. Granted, you can get by without one, and I did for many years, but it involves a lot of jumping in and out the car, all 3 inches, 2 inches, 1 inch, bingo! With a reversing camera, you can just reverse straight under the tow hitch. If you are full-time touring, sometimes I have hitched up my caravan over 50 times in 1 year. On one trip to Scotland last year, I hitched up 30 times in 3 months. You are doing a lot of hitching up. If you can get a reversing camera to make that process easier, then just do it. You can get some quite cheap aftermarket ones now, easy to fit. I would recommend a reversing camera. Number 4 is a luxury, but one to consider, that is a motor mover. A motor mover will allow you to maneuver your caravan on its own with a little remote control. You can use it to hitch up the caravan to the car. You can use it to spin the caravan on a sixpence. If you're very nervous about reversing, you can even use it to reverse your caravan onto a pitch, but I would heartily recommend you learn to maneuver. It's a luxury, it's expensive. They're about £1,000 for a single axle caravan, but it will give you the confidence to go anywhere, do anything, and if you can afford it, I would recommend a mover. As I said, you can also use them to hitch up the caravan to the car. However, a reversing camera just makes life so much quicker because with a mover, you need to engage the rollers and it just takes a little bit longer than if you could just reverse the car straight under the tow hitch. And finally, number 5, join the club. In the UK, we have 2 major touring clubs, the Camping and Caravanning Club and the Caravan Club. You should consider joining at least one of these, or do as most of us do and join both. What I love about the 2 clubs is that they do not discriminate against the solo camper, caravanner, motor caravanner. So the Camping and Caravanning Club, they charge on their sites per adult, so you just pay for 1 adult. Then if you want a hard standing pitch or an electric pitch, you pay a pitch fee on top of that. Caravan Club, very similar. You pay a pitch fee for the pitch and then you pay per adult on top of that, so you just pay for 1 adult. A lot of sites out with the clubs will charge a flat rate for a caravan with a couple. So I love the clubs. They have a very sensitive pricing policy on their sites, and also joining one of the clubs will give you access to thousands of certificated sites, certificated locations, small, generally rural, 5 caravan sites, very quiet, often cheaper in the summer months because they don't have electric hookups, some of them do. Some of them are like little caravan sites, some of them are just fields, but they're great places to escape. Also, caravanners, campers, motor caravans in general are just the nicest, most helpful people you could ever meet. So when you're on site, people will respect your privacy, they will respect your independence, but if you need help, you've just got to open your mouth and everyone will come and help you. That support and the support you get from the technical teams at both the Caravan Club and the Camping and Caravanning Club is just worth its weight in gold. Fantastic. So they are my 5 top tips for solo caravanning. I hope you found them useful. If you have any tips you'd like to share or anything you'd like me to cover, then you know what to do. Please leave them in the comments box below. If you enjoyed this, give us a thumbs up, and if you didn't, then don't bother. And if you haven't subscribed yet, why not? Please do hit the subscribe button. I'd be really, really grateful. And it just leaves me now to say thanks for tuning in. Do you think that went well, Dougal? He never smiles.